We're on the air with John DiFiore. Did I say that right?
You said it right. I'm so impressed.
Really?
DiFiore.
DiFiore.
I get DiFiore, DiFiore.
I've only known you 25 years.
Oh, yeah. Time
Has it been that
flies.
long?
Yeah, let's think about this. Maybe even longer.
97. No, 95. No.
95.
95.
Yeah, Lightning
been
Mike on Monroe Road.
Not lightning.
Lightning.
You knew me the lightning days.
You know, I think everybody does. You know,
Yeah, I know.
all the time. we've
I'm
been
just
in this
thunder. I just talk a lot of shit now. I don't really act on the lightning anymore. It's a good story, though.
Faded out.
No, I'm still lightning.
You look good.
Anybody wants, thank you. Anybody wants to fuck with me, I'll kill him.
Let's get this straight.
I'll kill him with kindness and whiskey.
There you go. Love it.
No, I look good. Looks are deceiving. It's like one of those cars that you wax that looks great. It's got like 2 cylinders missing. So
Somebody told me it's not how you feel, it's how you look. I'm like, I don't know. I
Really?
like to feel good.
damn. There's a thing called, what are these things called? Filters now? What are they? Filters? The Snapchat filters.
Oh,
yeah.
please. They got AI that'll
AI.
dress somebody up and make them look like a movie star.
Bro, I look like $1 million, man. I finally downloaded an app and put my picture in there, and
Oh,
great.
I'm not going to bother.
You know, it's fun every once in a while. Get a little buzz. Garrett does it all the time, don't you, Garrett?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
So I'm on the air with John DiFiore, and John and I go way back, and he knew me back in the day when I was just getting started out in the window tinting game. And John, you started doing mortgages. Like when I met you, were you doing mortgages or were you doing something else?
So in 94, when I moved here to Charlotte, I opened a home remodeling company. Windows, siding,
Yeah.
roofing, doors. Like a tin man, if you will.
Yeah.
Pretty much through 94 through 2000, ran the company and decided that it was a whole lot of work to get the marketing and the installations and the sales and just getting everything lined up. Just wasn't necessarily happy. Made money and made customers happy, but, you know, I was having my second kid. And I decided to go into the mortgage business.
Wow.
So the guys that worked for me took over the company, and I got an offer from somebody that used to write our loans for our customers. And I said, I don't know anything about mortgages. And in 2000, I got into the mortgage business, and I met you on an application because you were like, hey, I need to buy a house at the beach.
Oh, that's right.
And shoot, what was that? Probably 2002-ish.
Maybe.
Who knows? But anyway, yeah, did mortgages all the way through 2006.
And I guess when you did the application, you talked enough shit and I talked enough shit. We actually liked each other. Is that what it was?
Yeah, we always got along.
Yeah, I know. I loved you. I thought you were just charismatic as hell.
Well, thank you. And I always loved your energy.
I have lots of it.
Well, yeah, it's a true story. True story. Lots
People
of
can handle it or people can. I'm like a hurricane that comes in every day.
Yeah.
But no, the mortgage thing was cool. And how long did you do that? You did it for a couple of years, right?
Through the end of 2006 is when I got out of it 100%.
So you did 5-6 years of mortgages?
Yeah.
A heck of a timing.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know,
dude.
I can't say
You
that
have a
I'm
crystal
good.
Ball?
Nope. I'm just lucky. God's got an eye on me.
I think people find their own luck, though. I don't think there's luck. There's intuition of people who have this vision. I think the guys that are visionary, they always know kind of when to get out or when to get in.
So I got to say, I don't know necessarily say I knew when to get out of the mortgage business. Let me just say that my passion took me in a different direction.
Right.
And so coincidence and, the will of God took me in the right direction. So I got out of the mortgage business at the end of 2006 and, we're styling in the outdoor living business.
Yeah, I remember you had asked me who I used for graphic design. And you were like, who does your logo? And you asked me who did some printing and some magazines. And then I started doing some advertising when I got out of Lightning.
Pinpoint marketing.
Pinpoint advertising, yep.
That's right.
And I was like, man, let me do a business card for you. Let me do something for you. And then you went out, and I remember Rick Manship, graphic designer that worked for me at the time, I kind of put him on his own. He was called Spaz Chicken. And the thing is, I don't ever like to.
What a fitting name for him.
He is a spaz. Like, I love him, but dude, if you don't keep him on task, he'll be like, I sent that email, didn't I? and he's one of those that needs Adderall. He's never had it, but probably could use it. Yeah.
He always means well.
He does. He means well. He apologizes and owns up. See, the thing about people that make mistakes is how do they make the mistakes and then how do they make them right? He always owned up. He was just a guy that's like, yep, I fucked up. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about, people I do business with. But John, you started Fun Outdoor Living in 2000 and
Making
when?
the backyard fun.
He's got my logo, or my jingle, I should say. Fun Outdoor Living, making the backyard fun.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny how it came about. When I owned the mortgage company, one of my employees' wives sold hot tubs out of a warehouse, and the name of her company was Azure Spas. And they were moving to Michigan, and my wife had all the kids in school, and she says, well, I'm looking for something to do that I can have my own schedule and be in control. And she wound up meeting with this lady, and they came to terms, and I bought that guy's inventory and bought his forklift and took over his lease. And my wife sold spas out of a warehouse from 2005 through the 2006 by herself. And as it was happening, she found in a magazine these prefabbed outdoor kitchens, and had them shipped in from California, and they'd come in and they'd be broken from the trucking damage, and the shipping was $700 a piece. And I'm looking how these are made, and I'm like, why are we buying these? We could just buy the grill and the stainless doors and drawers, and we could make these. Well, took all the tools out of my garage and brought them over to this warehouse and set up a little table in the corner and reverse engineered this outdoor kitchen that we had bought from somewhere else.
What were you paying for those?
Like $4,000
Yeah, with the grill?
with the grill.
Okay. They
Plus
were nice.
shipping.
They were nice grills, though.
They're very nice grills, nice cabinets and stuff. Just,
Okay.
Back in 2006, yeah.
Did you think that was expensive back then?
I think everything's expensive.
do
That's
too.
my problem. But it was something, I looked at what they were selling for retail,
And what was that?
like $6,500.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, if I get it for $4,000, I pay $700 shipping, I got $4,700 in it. Then I got to deliver it to a house. It's going to cost me another couple $100. And,
Making $1,000.
I'm making a little bit of money, and you do enough of them, it's worth your time, right? So that's pretty much, how it started, and got out of the mortgage business full time, started working with her because I had that passion. So, the reason I got out of the mortgage business is because I used to own a book. This is funny. It's called Sunsetter Outdoor Kitchens and Sunsetter Fireplaces. And this was how to build from scratch an outdoor kitchen, a fireplace. They had another one for patios. They're still published today. I read that book from cover to cover for years, from like 92 all the way through 2006. I just kept reading that book. By the way, it was next to the toilet.
This
Toilet read.
is the internet age, so the Playboy and the penthouse were gone.
Never been my thing. But I had this passion for outdoor kitchens and fireplaces and patios. And I just told my wife, I'm like, I could always go back into the mortgage business. And basically started working with her in 2006, 2007. We were selling hot tubs. I was helping her with kitchens, and we started building some patios to put stuff on. Had a few people working for us doing this stuff. I'm sales and marketing, administration. I'm not necessarily the overall skilled carpenter and craftsman. But in 2008, when the bottom fell out, I had to become the skilled carpenter and craftsman. And man, I was building kitchens and putting rock on them and selling during the day or selling at night and delivering during the day. And so 2010 finally broke out again to where, we had enough money to hire somebody else in to help.
That's good.
Yeah.
So when you did it all yourself, you were it. It was just you and the wife?
Me and the wife have a few subcontractors that I'd be able to bring in to help out with some stuff. But it was the two of us.
I think people don't realize that this was 12 years ago. What'd you say, 2006?
2006, yes. It's
20,
18.
18 years ago, yeah. You know, I've been doing window tinting since 1988. And when I talk to guys that have been tinting windows for like 5 years or 6 years, and they're like, man, I've been grinding. I'm like, bro, how old are you? I'm like, I've been doing window tint 35 years. And like, they look at me and I'm like, bro, like, that's
this did exist before you guys came along.
Yeah, and the thing is that people come into the company now, and it's like John just said. John spent 2 years doing everything: sales, marketing, accounting, payroll, answering the phone, delivering, building kitchens. You did it all. You just said you had to
My
learn.
wife was helping me, by the way, so I can't
But
take
you had
all the
kids.
credit.
She had to go home and take care of the kids too?
Yeah, she's a trooper. I mean,
So
she
you
helped me
grinded
all the way
for
through.
2 years. You grinded. Like, it was like a grind.
I had no choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to choose between paying the electric bill and
Where was
if I could buy groceries.
So were you still in the same warehouse that you got when you got the hot tubs? Or did you change?
At that time, I had moved to a bigger warehouse that I couldn't afford.
What was the warehouse square footage, you think?
So we started off in 1,200 square feet, and then I moved to 3,500 square feet, and then the place next door to me came open, and that was another 3,500 square feet.
You had 7,000 square feet.
Yep.
And you had hot tubs, kitchens, all laid out in there, inventory. What would you say is inventory, like, as far as, did people finance the inventory for you? Did you pay for it?
So
Was it on loan, like consignment?
originally it was on, the hot tubs were on a, they call a floor plan, okay?
Sure, like car business.
Pretty much like a car business,
Yep.
yeah.
You pay a
So-
percentage.
And in 2007, 2008, the guy that ran the finance company account for me calls me up and says, hey, man, we're no longer going to be financing hot tubs, and you have a $64,000 balance, and I need you to go ahead and pay that today.
Holy shit.
I'm like,
Sorry, bro. Don't.
you got a bad connection here, dude. I got to go. So basically,
Did you give some back?
No, I made a deal with him. I said, listen, I'll give you $5,000 every 2 weeks until these are paid off, but I need some time to work through this. And never missed a payment.
Wow. What are they going to do? Send a truck to come repo them?
Yep, exactly what they would have done.
And what kind of bank was it?
It was at the time it was GE.
Oh, GE. Yeah.
GE
I know,
Capital.
yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did the floor plan financing. Like, sorry, dude, you got to pay your bill all at once. I'm like, wrong guy.
How long did it take you? 6 months, 8 months, a year?
I mean, I don't know, I'm no mathematician, but you know, you think about it, you got
5,000 tons
5,000
a month, or was it every 2 weeks?
every 2 weeks.
So 10 grand a month?
10 grand a month.
So
Yeah.
7 months.
7 months.
Yeah. That's strong, bro. And paying rent. And
paying rent and deciding if I could pay the electric bill.
Did
or
you actually
buy
pay
food.
yourself?
Hell no. I mean, I was able to get by, but I had a house. I have 3 kids. I had car payment, like everybody else. You have bills, and I never missed any payments on anything.
That's good.
Nothing was ever past 30 days. It came close, but not
29 and a half, but never 30.
29 and a half. Oh, man.
I still to this day tell people that I had to take loans out of my cars to make payroll because I had car dealerships owe me so much freaking money. We were heavy in the car business, like doing cars,
Right.
And they would owe me $15,000-$20,000, and like I'm waiting on my money. I just paid rent, just paid all this shit, and you go give the title to your fucking car to the bank, and you're giving the title to them to get money to turn around to give to other people who have been working for you.
Busting their butt, yeah.
And I had a 0, 0, 0. And I'm sitting there going, until you've done that and borrowed money to pay other people that worked for you, I don't feel like you've really truly been an entrepreneur. You've literally had to take a risk. Like people go, oh, I took a risk to go get out on my own. I took a risk to go out on my business. You didn't take a risk until you have taken your mortgage on your house or your house, and you let lien on it to say, hey, I'm opening up a business.
When
Equity line.
When you start sacrificing your personal gain
yes.
to better that of others or the business,
Right.
That's when you're an entrepreneur.
Yep. And I'm sure that John, like myself, sees you today, and the guys that knew you 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and they see the grind and the sacrifices like I have. I've seen that in you. And I'm sitting there going, dude, somebody go, hey, who you having on the podcast today? So I'm having John DiFiore. Who the fuck's that? I'm like, he's a dude that started off selling fucking hot tubs, man. And I told that story twice today. And then they're like, really? I was like, yeah, I remember he did a mortgage for me on my beach house. And then next thing you know, he's selling fucking hot tubs out of a warehouse. And then now I look at him, he's got 10 stores, 35 million trucks, millions of dollars a house on the lake. He's got the most beautiful house on Lake Norman. It's ridiculous. I just want an invite this summer. I'll buy the gas for the boat. But no, it's just respect. It's honestly, we live through Facebook, we live through Instagram, and the people that have made a difference in your life, you like follow their story, and like you look at them and you're like, I'm proud to know that I know this motherfucker. Like I'm like, he's like me. I grinded, he grinded. Like that's respect.
Thanks, Mike. And
end the podcast right there.
Yeah, done. Glad to know this motherfucker. Let's go. No, but the thing in life people don't realize is that who do you look at that I'm never envious? Like, motherfucker could brought 3 fucking Ferraris or Porsches and have a $2 million house wherever and be like, dude, I'm proud of this motherfucker. Like, I knew him when he did my mortgage on my fucking beach house. And then now this motherfucker's got stores everywhere, people working for him. He's the name of outdoor. Like, if you go to Charlotte and you think I want a fucking outdoor whatever, it's fun outdoor living. Everybody. It's just like the name is there everywhere. And I think window tinting, I kind of did the same.
You definitely did. You know, you're a great marketer, great top of mind awareness. It's always been a niche for you. And I'm glad to say I have had that same talent and focus in where to put my effort. And you know, the top of mind awareness is great. It always comes down to word of mouth at the end, though, because you can have the best name, top of mind awareness. If you don't follow through with it, it fades quickly. You know, it's about how you treat your customers and how you follow through in the end after the sale.
You know, one thing that I will point out, I had a guy ask me one day, he goes, Mike, what's the secret to your success? And I said, number one, I'm not successful. And he goes, what? He said, you're not successful. And I said, bro, I haven't helped enough people yet. There's more people out there that need my help. I said, I will become more successful when I've doubled the amount of people I've helped today. So when I help more people, then I will become more successful. Okay. So right now I'm not successful because I haven't helped enough people. The other thing is when you can take a person that is working one job, making X, and you can increase that by double within a year through knowing you and your resources, but you made an investment in that person and you get that person to a level that they never thought was possible. Okay. And I invest in my workers, I invest in my people, because without the good mindset of the people that work and carry on my mission, I don't need to worry about the customers because they're going to automatically do what I would have done because I invest in my people more than I do the customers. Customers are going to come and go. The loyalty is going to come and go. They're going to shop price. They're going to shop availability. I'm loyal to a certain extent. I'm loyal to most of my friends and their businesses, but if I cannot get the availability that I am looking for, then I'm going to look for an alternative. If somebody says, hey, Mike, I want to go a mortgage, and you say, Mike, I'm backed up. I can't get your application in for 2 weeks. I'm like, John, I love you, but I need a fucking mortgage today. And I gave you an opportunity. You said you couldn't help me for 2 weeks. So I'm going to go to the person who can help me today. And that's where I sidestep relationships. People are like, man, I thought you were loyal. I'm totally loyal, but I'm on a timeline.
By time, because you have a short attention span.
Absolutely.
Thank you for saying it.
I'm tall in all I'm big and tall in all the other areas, but yeah, attention span is the one I'm not.
You know, you're not wrong. I mean, you want instant gratification and you want to move on because you don't want to focus on it again, is my assumption.
Yeah. Once I have an idea in my head, I want to get it out of my head as quick as possible so I can move on to the next idea. And if I don't get closure on that idea, it's limiting me on my next one. So I got to get it out and get someone to take it. It's like Garrett, one of the best sales guys I've ever worked with. I tell him one task, runs with it. Like anything, any ideas I have, give me the idea. Don't need to talk about it again. It's already done. I call in 2 weeks. Oh, it's already done, bro. I mean, seriously. You do.
That's big.
The thing is, man, so take me, if someone was going to leave their career right now and start a passionate business, take me through the first 5 steps, because I get people ask me, what's this podcast about? What do you do on this podcast? And I said, well, I'm interviewing interesting people and I like to get their stories of how they became who they are and success. But the real value is, how do we give an instruction manual to the public of going, hey, I work in the mortgage business. I'm looking to get out and I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to start, floors or garages or decks or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But what if you could, in your experience, give 5 steps, 1 through 5, what would you do first? What would the first step be? What would the second, third, fourth? Do you give me like a rundown on that?
Well, thanks for putting me on the spot.
Yeah, man. But it's simple.
It is simple. I mean, instinctively, my first answer is, you want to learn the business that you intend on starting. My advice is work for someone in that business for a period of time so that you can get the basics and some of the intricacies of that business, and you understand, number one, how it works, but number two, if you really like to be there. Because what you think on the outside may not be what it really is on the inside.
Sure.
So, expose yourself to that process and that business and some of the back end intricacies that come with it. Surround yourself with people that are experts in that industry as mentors, so that you don't have to consistently learn as you go. Find out, a group of business leaders that you can be in from that same business and network constantly. And then, having someone with you that's as committed. If you have, 1, 2, 3, 4 people with you, they have to be as committed to the purpose as you are.
One other question. Partnerships. How do you view a partnership? When you started, it was just you and your wife, right?
Yeah.
Then you and her were partners, which you already made a commitment to each other by marriage. You're already existing partners. Would you have taken on any other partners looking back? If I came to you and said, I got $50,000, you're starting to plan out doing, I like hot tubs.
No, not a partnership that way. It has to be somebody that I know, that I can say that they have worked with me and around me, because it is, an initial dating process.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get married to someone without dating them. This is not love at first sight or marriage at first sight like they have these shows today. To me, a partnership is an intimate relationship to where you can ultimately trust that person, as well as you really know their work ethic without questioning, and have to wonder, are they going to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done?
You said that so well. I said this many, many times when I interview a new employee. I do it 30 days. I don't put them on payroll. I usually Cash App them or Venmo or whatever, and I say we're dating for 30 days. We date. I think I said that to you, Gary.
You did.
Did I not?
Yep.
I said we're going to date, and we're going to date for 30 days, maybe 60, depending on how we see each other. Because I saw Garrett in a different light. He came from California. Originally, his mother was here. We're friends. We started off as friends. And when you work with friends, it's very difficult to get that gray, muddy water. Friends, think one thing, and they use the friendship sometimes to get certain things.
Yeah, the wrong people will use the friendship. The right person will never do that.
Correct. And we were dating, and I said, let's just date for a little bit. He was kind of in between careers and jobs, didn't really have anything to do, so it wasn't really a waste of his time. It was kind of like, oh, sure, I'll get paid to answer the phone, help out, learn the business, cool. And now I really honestly believe I could leave the country for a year, turn Garrett over to everything. I'd have to increase his pay quite a bit, but...
No disagreement.
I'm rooting for you, Garrett.
Thanks, John.
He's got a lot of potential, but the thing is, if you go all in the first date, then the dating process, it takes a little longer. But the thing is, that's the word I love. I really love that you use those words, because I've used those in my process of hiring people.
Yeah, it's a good relatable analogy for a lot of people. And it truly is a matter of making sure that you're working with the right person that has the same values, that has the same work ethic, that has the same drive, the same commitment. Those are all major components of of a healthy relationship, because no one wants to feel slighted that they're doing all the work and the other person's riding on your coattails, so to say.
Right.
So it creates a lot of animosity if it's not, a good mix.
One thing that I have learned in business for so many years is I hire people normally for higher positions that are better at things than I am.
You have to.
You see, so many people are like, no, I can do everything, man. I got an ego. I'm the boss. I can do it all. And they're intimidated by actually hiring people that are so diversively different than themselves that they feel intimidated by. Well, guess what? I want to hire someone that's better at sales than me.
Yeah, but have you always been that way?
Never. Probably in the last 5 years.
See, it doesn't come that way. I have to admit, I was not that way for a long portion of my career.
And when did it start for you? Or
don't
like
know,
early 50s,
after
maybe?
like the 2000th hiring mistake that I
Yeah,
made, maybe.
exactly.
I mean, all the time and love and energy.
I wanted people just like myself.
Out.
Unfortunately, I couldn't talk to myself all day long.
Well, there's the hunger, but it's also because you guys started something that's your baby.
Right?
Relinquishing that control, that ability to say, I am trusting you with my baby, is got to be the hardest thing on the face of the planet, because you've grown it to a point. You know where it can be. You know where it can go. And bringing someone on that is going to take it and say, okay, I'm going to run with it, and you're giving them a little bit of leash. Okay, what are they going to do with the leash?
Yeah, I can also add this, that in times where I was building my business, and I'm going to say from 2010 forward, okay, we're going to put the first 4 years off as the downturn as an anomaly, but in normal course of business, you still have things that are so important that if A doesn't fit, B doesn't get finished, and if B doesn't get finished, C can't get paid. So if somebody screws up A, you are devastated, and the entire process has gone downhill out the window, and basically you can't afford to relinquish that control because of the ripple effect and the repercussions that come along with it. And as you become a little bit more financially stable, you have that release and a little bit more autonomy that you can give people. And you have the opportunity to let them perhaps fail at A and use it as a training experience or a learning experience.
Couldn't do that early on.
Hell no.
It took me years too.
Well, it's first it becomes affordability, and then it becomes a control factor, and then you finally can say, all right, I can let go of control. That's how I see it. It may not be that way for everybody, but looking back on it, hindsight's 20/20, and
No, I think that's
certainly
perfect.
That's what happened.
One
to
thing
me.
I do now is coach other small businesses, and I tell them, if you really want to grow your business, work yourself out of a job. So hire Garrett and say, Garrett, in 1 to 3 years, you need to become me. Like whatever I do in a daily, whatever my daily chores are, you need to now become me. So whatever task and chores that I'm personally doing throughout the day are now your task and that I'm coaching you on. So now I can move on to become a bigger visionary and a bigger vision of outside the country. And I want to go to, Tokyo. I want to go to Germany. I want to go to fucking London. I want to open up Sunstoppers all over the world. I don't want to just be in the U.S. anymore. I want to be everywhere. I want to be in every country.
That's amazing. I love it.
So I have big dreams, and my dreams are my dreams. And I only want people around me that are going to fuel my dreams. And so I'm training my staff to become me. So that way, when I leave, I can now go be the new visionary and the new staff and the new people in other places.
That's great.
You're just in Charlotte.
And Winston-Salem.
Oh, Winston? Okay, so you've expanded a little further out.
Yeah, we're building a store in Rock Hill now.
No shit.
Yeah.
How about anywhere down the beach, coast?
So no, at this time, I have plans on moving to those areas.
I see you in Charleston.
Myrtle Beach,
Not Myrtle.
Pawleys Island. The mountains. I love Boone, Blowing Rock.
Yeah.
Asheville. Great areas.
See, I love Texas. And what I figured out in my business, I don't know what happened, but I do have a college degree in marketing. And I don't know what I was thinking for 30 years, but window tint, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, people that live in hot freaking areas like window tint. So when you get to Texas and Arizona, it's
appreciate it a
100
bit more
fucking
for
degrees
sure.
So
there.
you're not going to sell snow shovels in Arizona.
Don't think. Well, you know, in the mountains they have like a season of like 3 weeks maybe. But no. So the thing is, I'm learning that going to a different demographic market area, like a marketable area, like we're in Tucson, Arizona right now, and my friends are like, "Dude, you bought a business in Arizona?" I was like, "Yeah, man, dude was doing a pretty good job. You know, I walked in, bought the place, revamped it, remarketed it, rebranded it, retrained the guys on our process, and in 6 months." We have increased sales by 50 to 60%. And the marketing budget that I have versus what they had is almost 300%. They were spending $500, $800 a month in marketing. I'm spending $5,000 a month in marketing.
Yeah.
So when you're spending $5,000, we're going to be getting a lot more of the market share. And now I'm creating fear in the area because no one else that was doing window tinting in that area was doing any marketing. So now they're all trying to come and do marketing now, which I've already been dominating for the last 5-6 months. And we're building brand awareness. We're growing. We're doing flat glass, which is residential commercial. But one thing that I will tell you is I'm going into an area kind of like Greensboro to Charlotte. Phoenix and Scottsdale are like Charlotte. It's like the big city. But you go to these smaller cities and you've got these what we call big fish in small ponds, which they think they're already the biggest fish in that pond. I come in from Charlotte with multiple stores, big budgets. I come in and I throw a bunch of freaking marketing, and the big fish there are like, who the hell is this guy? And I'm now creating fear. Well, what I've done is the people that have been working these other jobs and these other window tinting shops across there, the owners are talking to the employees going, who is this new shop down? Well, I've never heard of them. What are they doing? Oh, I Googled them. And guess what they're doing? The window tinters that worked there for 5-6 years, they're calling my shop asking if we're hiring.
Yeah, that's great.
So what I have always told people when they say, how do you find your employees? I say, they find me. And the reason they find me is because I'm advertising 10 times what my competition is. And so when people are on commission and they work in a trade, they want to make more, they want to grow, they want to be part of something, they're going to go to the company that's advertising because they feel like they're going to have more food on the table. They're going to feel like they have more to eat. And I've taught this to so many people in small businesses. I go, you advertising? Oh, no, man, we're busy as hell. I just can't find any help. I start advertising. And they go, what do you mean start? Start advertising. You will find the help.
That's true. People call us up from the industry basically because they hear my radio ads. True statement.
You just heard it from another small business owner. You get people looking for jobs because you're fucking advertising.
You're relevant. And again, top of mind.
Top of mind.
It's credibility. You can afford to advertise on the radio. You can certainly afford to write their paycheck. And some of these companies are not paying their employees on time, which is sad. I've never
bounced a check and I've never not paid an employee in my life.
Agreed and agreed. Both are the same for me. And bottom line is, I can't understand how employees work for companies that aren't getting paid for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. God, the loyalty and the love they have for that owner, I commend, but you can be loyal to a fault as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a household to run, man. You need money.
That was a nugget. So in the podcast world, what we just talked about was a nugget. So if anybody's listening to this damn thing, the 3 people in the country, that was a nugget. We have a pretty good following overseas. It's ridiculous, man. I got friends of mine on Europe, and they all watch this stuff, and they watch these podcasts. And I went to a conference, and it was like every one of them was like, bro, I listened to it on the plane over here. And I went to London and walked into a shop, and it was like, I know Mike Burke. I listened to his podcast. I'm like, fucking really? I thought this was like the 3.
I love it.
It's really funny. I'm not kidding.
Congratulations.
I go on Spotify.
I thought you were going to give us tinting tips.
No. People don't realize this is not my podcast on window tinting. This is me interviewing people that I want to learn shit
And that's what I like about it, is every single time we do this, there is something unique and different.
Just want to learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, John's a cool dude, man. He's chill as fuck. You know, he's 57 years old, still got all his hair. He's got a perfect tan. I don't know what the hell that is.
I was in Dominican Republic like a month ago, and then I'm out on the lake paddleboarding whenever I can.
He had the opportunity to plug a brand new piece of furniture, and he just totally missed it.
Yeah. So what's
Tanning beds?
so what so what hot tubs you sell?
Hot Spring brand hot tubs.
That's what I have. I bought one from you.
You did.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
It's a great product.
It is. I have not one problem.
So, getting into the business in 2006, I bought a warehouse full of hot tubs.
Here, you need some more, bro. We're sharing whiskey together.
I like this podcast. So buying a warehouse full of hot tubs and then getting the manufacturer that makes these hot tubs bring me to their factory and telling me they have the best product and why it's the best product, and me never being in the business, I'm like, that sounds great. These are really nice hot tubs. Then I had the opportunity to get the Hot Spring dealership in the Charlotte market. And man alive, you don't know what you don't know. And when I got inside of these hot tubs, touching the pumps, the wiring, just the overall construction of the cabinets and the jets and just how they're engineered, they're night and day out there. And nobody really cares. You're buying a hot tub. It's a box of water. It's got jets. It's got a control panel. It's got a cover. It felt good. It was warm. And I had fun in it. It's about how long that thing lasts that makes the biggest difference that none of us think about while we're having fun in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And Hot Spring, man, alive. I commend those guys. I'm not just because I'm selling them. And frankly, I wouldn't sell them if they weren't good, because I don't need any calls on shit that doesn't work.
That's exactly what I believe, like with Expel. I love Expel window film, paint protection film. And people always just ask me, use that 3M shit?
Are they the sponsor here?
No, they could be, though. Well, actually, really, in about a week and a half, the CEO of Expel, a publicly traded company, is going to fly in to be on my podcast.
That's nice.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
But yeah, Expel films. I told somebody, a customer one day, he goes, "Man, why do you use Expel window films?" I said, "You know why? They're a publicly traded company. All they do is make window films. That's all they make. 3M makes great Band-Aids. They make good, toiletries. They
focus on adhesive. Adhesive is their bread and butter.
3M is a branding company, and they don't manufacture or actually make probably a lot of their products. I don't know the percentage, but a lot. They have other people make it to their specs, and they put their brand, their name on it, which is fine. That's what a lot of people do. Expel only stays in their category, and they make great products. But we tint in Charlotte, on average, 1,500 cars a month between all of my locations. 1,500 cars a month. Could you imagine if I got 10,000 phone calls saying my window tint looks like shit and it bubbled and I need to redo it? I'd go out of business.
You don't need to expose yourself.
I would
like that.
freaking go out of business.
Nobody needs to live with that kind of
I would go out of business.
negative aura around them.
But I would go out of business if I used cheap shit.
Totally with you.
So you carry a great brand.
And by the way, Hot Spring is owned by Watkins Manufacturing. Watkins Manufacturing is also a publicly traded company. Masco is the parent company. Masco has Behr paints under its umbrella. Delta faucets.
Right on.
And just a conglomerate of other.
And you make in-house all of your grill cabinets and everything.
Yeah.
But what grills do you get?
So I use 3 different brands of grills.
Okay.
Bull Outdoor Products, based out of California.
Okay.
Lynx is a grill that's also based out of California, grill manufacturer. And then DCS by Fisher and Paykel.
Okay.
Those are my 3 main gas grill.
Tell me the differences
Big
between
Green
the 3.
Egg.
So tell me really what the 3 differences are.
So I'll give you, first of all, it comes initially to dollar investment for the homeowner. And to start off, the Bull Outdoor Products grill is 10 times better than anything we're going to find at a big box store. So when we build an island and we put a grill in that's custom fit, we want that heart of the island to be a good heart transplant, if you will.
Sure.
So you have a quality starting point. So Bull Outdoor Products is what I call my entry level. I do everything in our company. We try to use a good, better, best approach for pricing and to fit the needs of our customers' goals. So a great example is you have a 38-inch grill from Bull Barbecue, and that grill is like $2,900 for a built-in grill. You go to the 36-inch grill for DCS, and that grill is right around $6,000. The Lynx 36-inch grill is $7,900. The performance is not night and day, but you can certainly tell the performance over a long period of time. So, it's the cost of ownership, it's the quality of cooking, and I could tell you that there's not a lot of folks that need a $7,900 grill in their backyard, but they're definitely a market for people that that are going to appreciate
like
that
Viking
quality.
Like Viking appliances in your home.
Great
those
point.
Sub-Zeros.
Yeah, I mean, we can go out and buy a
works.
KitchenAid refrigerator, or you could buy a Sub-Zero refrigerator.
And they're $10,000 versus $4,000, $3,000.
Way different.
Yeah.
And it depends on, the performance.
Sure.
So the grill brands, then Big Green Egg, ceramic smoker.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Going to steer you in another direction. How many employees do you have?
60.
How many subcontractors do you have?
35.
How many trucks you got?
20.
20 trucks. 60 employees. 35 subcontractors. How many locations? 4?
4 retail locations and then a main distribution center. Yeah.
What do you do for marketing?
Google AdWords, SEO, search engine optimization, for those that don't know, which is basically your website being, constantly tweaked. SEM, search engine marketing, through different forms other than just Google. Social media. I do some radio. We do some community involvement.
What's performing the best rate of return?
Google.
I think so.
Google's like the latest.
Yeah, I tell people this because I do Facebook, I do Instagram, TikTok, I do YouTube. And I will tell people in marketing, when you want someone to purchase or make a decision fairly quickly at what they want, they're Googling it. Okay? I'm going to Google hot tubs near me or hot tubs in Charlotte, and it's going to pop up 3 listings. And I'm going to look and we'll go click. Okay? I'm probably going to call 2 or 3. I'm going to see who's got a website. I'm going to see who's responsive. And if I say, hey, I want to know how much a hot tub is, blah, blah, blah. Do you have a lead generation form on your website, which I'm probably 99% sure you do, that automation text or
replies
yes.
replies back.
1,000%.
Yeah, it's a form fill.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like information on this. Thanks for checking with our company. One of our representatives will get
Do
you.
you text the customer?
Oh yeah.
Right away.
Oh yeah.
We do too. So we're getting engagement where emails are obsolete, voicemails are obsolete. Texting is the easiest way and the most responsive way to get interaction with customers.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And you could be on Google pay-per-click, but if you send them to a website that's not operating correctly, you may as well not even waste the money getting them there.
I agree.
You got to have that thing perfect. You have to fire on all cylinders.
Yep.
I advertise on the radio. Somebody goes and puts in, hot tubs. I come up on the first page as hot tubs with fun outdoor living, and they still could click on a competitor's ad, and they probably do. As long as you can respond and be better than your competitor in your response time and the quality of your communication, you're a winner. You're going to win.
Hey,
You're a winner.
Garrett was on vacation. He has a company cell phone and is on vacation.
St. Lucia.
He's texting me at like 6 o'clock. Just closed another one. I need to fucking turn this phone off.
I love it.
He's on a fucking go-kart or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, so side by side.
Selling shit. I'm like, he's an overachiever. He likes to get brownie points. I don't know why, but he does.
Hey, you know what though? It's in our blood, and I say our blood being him being one of us, so to say. But it's in our blood. When I'm in Dominican Republic last month, I'm answering a text that came to me from a customer I installed 6 years ago that wanted to buy something for their new home. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm talking to my friend and my past customer. He wants to do a patio, and I'm just letting him know that I'm going to get back to him. She says, "We're supposed to be on vacation." I said, "I'm never on vacation like that."
Pays for the vacation?
Yeah.
Well, I do.
She gets
I do agree and I disagree. So, as I've gotten older, I realize that when I'm on vacation, it's very difficult to have a vacation mentally because I wake up in the morning, regimented, go to the gym 6 a.m., 5:30. I'm up. I'm checking my phone. But what I've learned in all of this process is from 5:30 in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning belongs to me, no one else. Like the world stops. It's my world. I don't email. I don't text. I listen to Pandora. I meditate. I use the bathroom for a very long time. And just I go to the gym. I stretch. So the first 2 hours are going to give me the strength that I need mentally, physically, and emotionally to get throughout the day. And so I get hyper-focused on what's important to me. And I also look at the decisions that only I can make. Do I have staff trained and skilled enough to make decisions on these things? And if they do, that are not important to me. I only focus on what's important to me and what decisions I can only make. So they're my decisions. No one else in my company can make them. And so I work, but I don't work. And when I'm on vacation now, I actually can turn my phone off and not focus on this, because what happens in my brain is I say, what is the absolute worst thing that's going to happen? And the worst thing did happen over Christmas. One of my stores burned down. Like the store completely burned down.
Did anybody die?
Nobody died.
That wasn't that bad, though.
Wasn't that bad.
It's fine.
Had insurance, a little bit. I get paid a little bit of money. It's getting rebuilt. But you know what the nice thing is? The store's going to be 10 times nicer now rebuilding it in Lake Norman than it was before.
I've been to that store. That's not going to be hard.
Thanks, John. It's because we were too busy working.
Hey, you guys did a really good job on the paint protection film.
Good.
Yeah,
but that store's getting totally
it's
revamped.
It's going to look great.
It's going to look amazing. And we're getting it rebuilt and revamped. And it's going to be one of the flagship stores. And it's going to be nice.
That's a great area to put an investment into.
I've been there for 22 years at that store.
That's crazy how time flies.
It's crazy.
Statesville Avenue.
I know, man. It's crazy. So you live on the lake now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What exit?
28 off of Torrance Chapel Road.
Okay. Isn't traffic really bad trying to get back in those coves and things like that, or is it not that bad?
It's not bad. I mean, you just have to be patient. Frankly, I may have gotten used to it, but it's not an easy, quick flow. But it's not terrible. You're not sitting there for an extra hour.
So you moved here in 1994?
I did.
Okay. Where from?
Ohio, Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton. What'd you do there?
I ran a window siding, roofing, and door company for a company that I worked for.
When you say ran, what does that mean?
I was general manager of sales, marketing, pretty much hired, trained, and recruited the marketing and salespeople.
What were you making then?
$130,000 a year.
Were you really?
Yeah.
In 93?
93.
No shit.
92.
Dude, I graduated fucking high school in 1991. And then I graduated college in 1994. I graduated college in 3 fucking years because I went to summer school every summer because I was a dumbass. I took all the hard...
Much older.
I'm only a couple years. Oh, good. But no, really, that's a fucking shit ton of money, man. That was like a $250,000.
I worked really hard.
How'd you get that job?
I got a job actually as a salesman. I was an in-home salesperson for many years and doing really well as an in-home salesperson. They said, hey, you should be a manager.
Hey, Garrett, you're getting a raise.
So
we have this on record now. I'm really excited about this.
Hey, John, shut the fuck up. You were making $70,000 a year? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir. Well, let me just tell you, mine was based on commission. So my salary was $84,000 a year.
Okay. There you go.
And it was it was salary plus commission.
I'm having a hard time with that because we do so much. We're like a Swiss Army knife. We have so many different things going on. It's hard to track everything. I'm just going to overpay Garrett and just tell him I love him. Go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of ways around it.
Still won't be enough.
Salary plus performance commission, and base it on profit.
I say growth. Do you think profit or growth?
Both.
Both?
So profit and growth.
Okay.
So your percentage should increase if you had a certain percentage of growth.
Okay. So like we take the stores, and when we see increase in growth in those stores and profit Profit's difficult.
Well, profit has to, how could it be difficult? You have a P&L, don't you?
I do.
So either you need another bookkeeper or I need to sit down with you outside of this podcast. Oh, no, I don't
Expenses? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, obviously, you know what you're doing. But
Yeah.
my point being is, you have a manager, any manager, any salesperson should be paid based on meeting a minimum profit, minimum level of sales, and then rewarded once they exceed that. And if it exceeds it over a certain percentage, then you should give an accelerator on that based on their higher level of performance, because then you have the economy of scales.
That's how I was paid at my previous job, and it was impressive.
It's rewarding
I
and
got
it's
frustrated because I always
motivating.
exceeded, but
Yeah.
it was their scale.
Sometimes they make a mistake and then they become, I guess, narrow-sighted, and they want to they want to revoke that
see the
shit.
thing,
That's the worst thing they
We're-
could
we're-
do.
we're-
Then you leave, like Garrett left.
We're still in the. Well, see, the problem is we're still in the dating phase. We haven't put a.
Oh, is that where we are, Mike? Okay.
I've got a ring picked out. I just haven't bought it yet.
There's a drugstore across the street.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you know what? Some of those.
John, hush.
Hey, so some of those cubic zirconiums, man, they're really look good. They're clear and
What he's not telling you, John, is that I was a jeweler.
yeah,
I know the difference.
yeah.
Oh, he's got his
Can
own
you
loop.
really tell the difference with?
Uh-huh.
Can you?
I can.
Yeah.
He's got a loop.
The thing is, everybody kept telling me early on when I was buying my ring, go scratch glass because the cubic zirconium won't like scratch
Correct.
glass. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, there you go. But anyway, that's a lot of employees to keep up with. So how
I
do you?
have a really good team. I mean, I have an organizational chart that basically has me, one person under me, and then he has 5 people under him. And then each of those 5 people have 5 people under them. 5 to 7 people is all
Oh, you
one
can-
person can manage effectively.
That's a beautiful
I like that.
ratio. That's a great ratio.
Yeah, it
Hey,
keeps it
in the podcast world, that's another fucking nugget.
another nugget. I love it.
And cut here.
Yeah. So, I mean, how I keep up with it is I'm fortunate enough to have come to the realization, to our point earlier, of hiring people that are better than me,
Yep.
smarter than me,
Yep.
and then giving them the autonomy to grow into their jobs.
Yep.
And not micromanaging, because I'm really good at that. Step back.
I'm not a micromanager. Not at all.
Great. You've never really been, by the way. I've watched you operate it, and you certainly have your way and your standards of operation, expectations. But I have those, and unfortunately, I'm going to also show you how to do it.
My staff knows I can show them how to do it. And I've earned their respect for the years of my, the hardest car will come in and I'll be like, I'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm the first one to, like, a challenge comes in. I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm not scared.
So, I mean, I could tell you I'll be out on a job site and I could build a deck. I could install a patio, but I cannot do it as well as the guys that
Sure.
I hire to do it.
I agree.
And I don't ever expect to be, because there are things that I do that way better than they are. And that's what makes a good team.
Yeah.
The quarterback is not returning the punt.
I tell people that all the
Just,
time.
you gotta-
You have to
you
know who
gotta
the
have your
quarterback
job.
is. Sometimes you have people in the wrong position, like on a football team. You can have a wide receiver that needs to be a tight end. Like you sometimes need to tweak the people around
Aren't they the same anymore?
somewhat.
I mean,
Yeah.
game's changed.
It has.
But you get the point. The nose guard is not the
Yeah.
linebacker.
Exactly.
He's too
From Dayton,
he's too
Ohio.
slow.
So you ran a construction company for window siding.
I moved to Charlotte specifically after studying the country. So I was working for this company in Dayton.
Okay.
And I actually went to the owners of the business and said, hey, I've been working here now for 9 years, and I would like an opportunity to buy in as a partner in this company. And they said, we can't make a decision between the 3 of us, let alone bringing your dumb guinea ass in here, were his words, quote, end quote. And he tells me people would put their balls in this cup to get the kind of pay you're earning at $130,000 a year. I said, well, people would put their balls in that cup to have the talent that I have. So I left that meeting and I went to the library at Ohio State, and I basically had the census book from 1990 with the big pages. They're like 24 by 18 size pages, and you're turning that shit. And I had my demographics, and I studied the country, and I found 5 cities throughout the country that met where I wanted to move. like you said, Arizona is a good place for tint. Well, hot weather is a good place for replacement windows and siding. Well, I chose to move to Charlotte, and here we are.
Love it.
Yeah.
So what were the demographics you were looking for? Now, this is obviously going to be specific. What were the demographics you were looking for? Was it to move or to grow a business?
To grow a business. So it was all about the business. Everything that I looked at was specifically for, the most homeowners per capita, the highest average household income I could find per capita, the most gross domestic product. So I'm not stuck in Hartford, Connecticut in the insurance industry, all moves to London and you got nobody that has a job anymore. It's like Youngstown, Ohio had the steel mills. They all closed. Nobody had a job. So point being is that I found, those were some of the demographics and chose Charlotte.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I traveled to each one of those cities over a period of like 4 months each weekend. I flew to Santa Barbara, California, Memphis, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Florida. Where else did I go? Bloomington, Indiana, if you could believe that. It hits high.
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers. All right.
That's where I went to college.
Nice. So
You went to Indiana?
Yeah.
the
It was on my resume. It's clearly.
I don't read.
Here's a little twist. Raleigh, by the way, ranks higher than Charlotte.
It does.
In all of my demographics.
I've seen it on paper.
Now, I was in Raleigh, literally my last pick because my family's East Coast, my wife's family's East Coast. We were going to move to Santa Barbara. I said, no, let's just stay on the East Coast. I'm in Raleigh on a Saturday night getting ready to go sign a lease for a location for me to put my office on Sunday morning. The realtor was going to meet me. And I'm in there. We went out to the bars and I'm in a Subway at like 2 a.m. and some graduate student sitting there. He's like 26 years old. I'm like, hey, man, here's the business model that we're planning on opening up here. What do you think this town will, accept something like that? How do you feel about it? You look like you've, been around here a little bit. He says, yeah, he says, that would work out really well. He says, but that would also work in Charlotte. And I looked at my friend. I'm like, son of a bitch. I never even looked at Charlotte. I woke up the next morning. Instead of meeting the realtor, I drove to Charlotte. I went to the library. I waited for the homeless people to move out of the way off the steps, and I got in the door. And I started looking at the census book, and I was like, this is going to work just fine. The next week, I drove back to Charlotte, did my little tour. And then the third week, I drove back again and signed a lease and moved here.
Love it.
Yeah.
You were married at the time?
No. I was living with my girlfriend, who is my wife now.
Okay.
We've been together 35 years.
35.
Yeah.
That's good for you.
Yeah. She's amazing.
She is.
She's very tolerant.
No, see, the thing is, I have an NDA that everyone has to sign that dates me or goes out with me or marries me. Is like, sign here. Anything I say or do is not held against me.
Yeah.
After I have a couple of these,
She's
the tongue gets a little worse.
very understanding.
No, she's great, man. It takes a really good woman. I always say that every man that's successful, that has built a dream. And I said this to my ex-wife. I love her. I love her to death. I said, you have supported me in my dreams since the time we met. It's now my turn to support you in ours.
Nice.
So,
You're a good man.
but it's tough. But I'm now supporting her because I've got my dream. She gave me 2 beautiful boys, and I have the business I've never thought I would ever have.
Yeah. Well, behind every good man is a good woman.
It
And
is.
for us to recognize that is not easy because everybody wants to be all macho and proud and say that they did it. But we couldn't do it without the right back end.
No, she supported me.
You talk about, what advice you'd give to another entrepreneur is make sure you have the right support to give you the latitude and the time you need to commit.
You need the fuel, number one. Number two is you got to build the motor strong enough to withhold the storms that are coming. It's like a drag racing. You got to have all the parts sitting around. So you got to break a few. When you're drag racing. I used to race motocross with my son, and we had spare motors, spare clutches, spare bikes. Like, we had spare everything. We knew when we went to a race, we're going to break shit because we're going to run it as fucking hard as we can. And when we get done, we're going to have to replace it and go out and run another race as hard as we can. Entrepreneurship is running as hard as you fucking can, and you're going to break shit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just basically the rules. You're going to break shit. So you better have a woman by your side that knows you're going to come in late, you're going to come in tired, you're going to come in hungry, you're going to come in irritable, you're going to need an Epsom salt bath, you're going to need Advil. And now with these new fucking massage guns, man, I wish we had those fucking things like 20 years ago.
Those things are great.
What they called the little vibrators, man. I travel with one. I literally won't travel anywhere without it. My legs, like when I do conferences, I'm on my feet all day long, and I'll go back to the room, and I'll call my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, girl, what are you doing? She goes, and she'll hear the thing. She goes, are you rubbing your feet? I'm up there.
My mind is racing in the wrong direction.
No, I'm
Mike's talking about traveling with his vibrator. And
it's this massage
dude,
gun. What's it
I
called?
believe you.
It's a hypervolt.
You don't have to explain yourself.
I'm telling you, 2 years ago, I'm going through security at Charlotte Douglas. They opened it up and they're like, what is this? I'm like, baby, I don't travel anywhere without this thing.
That's hilarious.
It is. It's a true story, though. Anyway, we're drinking Barrel. This is one of my favorites. It's blended bourbon. And what do you think? You like it?
It's very nice.
Yes,
Very
right?
nice. Not a lot of heavy bite to it.
Yeah, it's
not
cool.
real oaky.
117 proof. Not too bad. You said what do you drink, vodka?
I like vodka.
Why? Vodka has no taste.
I don't know. I love vodka. I like
tequila?
Stolies. I like tequila. The new tequilas have gotten me. I shouldn't say new tequilas. I've been introduced to the.
I got some agave stuff.
agaves.
Oh my God, this stuff right here, best stuff you've ever tasted in your life. I'll take the whiskey if you want to taste it, but it's really good.
Oh man, no, it's good. It's good. I'm fine.
You have to come over to the bar and check it out sometime.
Yeah, you built a hell of a bar in your house.
Yeah, yeah, 2 of them, 3 of them. I'm like, yeah,
Something like that.
something like that.
Depends on where you wind up.
I had somebody come over to the house in Texas, and they saw the bar, they saw the top shelf, and they go, how much is that? I was like, I don't fucking know. It's going to be years to collect it. And I said, all I know is I could sell my liquor collection and buy a Lamborghini.
Nice.
I said, but the problem is, Lamborghini only sits 2 people. My bar sits 6.
And you can get to a really fun point just as fast.
You get to a really fun point just as fast. Exactly. I love it. But
awesome.
no, just life's worth living, man. And the thing is, there's nothing in this world that I am living for to buy. I want more experiences. Like today, beautiful day, bro. Thank you so much for coming, man. I love you. I think I've been an admirer of you, a fan of you for years. And we have a respect for each other that is, years and years in the making. And I want to rekindle that. The podcast to me is rekindling old relationships that you want to make now new relationships. I feel like you've gone into a direction that I have no idea what you do in sales, but I'm sure it's a massive number. And you've got, with the number of people you have, people all goes, man, how much money, how much business you do? I can tell people that have other businesses what I do, because it's not an envy or a jealousy or a dick measuring contest. It's more of a, hey, this is what I do. This is kind of where I'm at. When you tell me how many trucks you have, how many employees you have, how many locations you have, I can do math. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It takes care of itself if you take care of it. I guess you might
Water it,
just
nurture it, take
keep
care of
working
it.
it forward. And
Exactly.
I'm glad to say that I love what I do, and it doesn't seem like I'm working.
So I'm going to ask you one other question. I'm going to end on this one because we're going to wrap it up. Who in your company has ever asked you for a percentage of your company to grow with you? You just asked a company, and I heard this, and you left making $130,000 a year, and you asked for, how do I buy in?
Yep.
How do I become a partner? Who's asked you?
Andre works with me for years,
How long is it?
14 plus years.
Okay. Did you let him in?
Yeah,
He bought in.
absolutely.
You did.
Yes,
Good for you.
he's worth it.
So tell me what you did.
I'm not getting into.
I'm just saying percent. Like, did you give him a percentage?
Yeah, I did.
What's an average percentage? Average. Don't give me the exact. Give me an average. 2 to 4, 2 to 6,
10.
10. Okay. He bought in.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's smart. Do you have different LLCs, different businesses, or all under one?
Different businesses for different things. Like I own real estate under different LLCs.
Right. I'm talking about the Fun Outdoor Living.
No, it's
All under one?
It's all under one.
You don't have different locations under LLCs?
No.
All mine are separate. So I have the parent LLC that owns the brand, the name, and then I have all the micro ones under, and everyone has it. That's how I keep up with the P&Ls. That's how I know what each store's doing, what rents are doing, that kind of thing. It's more of an easier accounting record.
Sure. It's a little.
But if anybody wanted to buy into an existing store, I could sell the location of that store to someone that wanted to buy in instead of buying into the whole company.
So we have it all under one tax identification number, and then each store has its own profit and loss. So every expense and every sale is all measured against each store.
Got it.
Yeah.
You have a really good accountant.
A couple of them.
You have a couple of them. No shit.
Yeah. Well, CPA is one, but then, the bookkeeping
They work for
team,
you?
No. So
You
I have
outsource
a
it?
CPA outsource, and then I have an in-house controller.
She does payroll, pays bills.
And then I have a bookkeeper that works specifically in the retail side,
Okay.
and then a bookkeeper that works specifically on the construction side.
Got it.
So all of the expenses and income are all measured by the two bookkeepers, and then the controller merges it together.
That's awesome. Good system.
It works so far.
I've got one bookkeeper. She's overworked sometimes, but the thing is, my business is not quite as complex as yours.
I have a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but it's just another day. Keep it moving.
Walk me through. I'm gonna end on this. Walk me through an average day. What do you do in the morning?
Oh,
Through the evening.
I don't want to tell you I work real hard because I don't now, but I certainly, in the morning, I get up at 5 a.m.
Okay.
I work out from 6 to 7. I leave my house by 8 o'clock. I go to my main office location, the distribution center, spend about 45 minutes visiting and greeting with our staff. And how was your evening? How's things going? And then I'll go through and I'll work on whether it's overseeing some of the marketing department or overseeing the financials, overseeing whatever issues come up, whether it's expansion of a new location. I just built a 12,000 square foot warehouse, so that's been consuming my time.
Where's that?
On my main office location. So I have 4 acres of land down there.
Where's that?
Monroe, Indian Trail,
Perfect.
down off of Old Monroe Road.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of remodeling a store in Rock Hill. I bought an old Golden Corral and gutted that sucker and make it a retail.
Deal on that?
Not really. I mean, it's
how much land?
3 acres.
3?
3 acres, all paved in Rock Hill.
And paid.
Cherry Road,
No shit. That's where my shop is.
Anderson Road.
I'm right there next to Arby's.
Okay, so Anderson Road, Cherry Road, the old Golden Corral.
Yeah.
So basically bought that and gutted that, and I'm in the middle of turning that into a retail store. So you ask me what my days consist of, it's chasing down.
What kind of inventory would you carry in there?
In one store,
Yeah.
it's 400,000, 300,000
And just inventory.
in just inventory. Yeah.
That one location.
Hot. Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. What about one that you just did in Matthews?
The one in Matthews, same thing. 250. It's a little smaller.
Floor planning those?
Some of them. I try to keep my inventory paid for.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I switch that out once a year. So, I mean, they're displays, so you don't want to have to finance that shit.
Right. You got any questions?
So this going back to someone buying in. You went through it, got rejected, left. It sounds like became successful for it. If somebody came to you, what would be the things you would look for from them to allow them to come into your business and own a part of it?
Also, how long was he there?
He said about 14 years.
So I don't take it lightly. So to say if someone else approached me, it would be, an anomaly because I don't have somebody else that I've known for 14 years that would be in that position. But first and foremost is do they have the ability to run every aspect of that business from soup to nuts, start to finish? Are they willing to be on the phone at 11 o'clock at night with a plumber because there's a leak in the bathroom at a retail store? Are they going to show up at midnight if there's a fire in your Cornelius location? So,
The answer was yes.
That level of commitment is one part of it, but then the capability and the ability for them to get along with the staff and have the respect of everyone around them is really, the answer to, who it would be and what qualifications they'd have to have.
I talked to a couple guys in my company years ago, and they were thinking of the same thing. And I said, you don't work for me. I said, when you can go to every store and work at every location in my business and have the respect of every employee that works there, that you can do the job as good as they can or better, then will I pretty much say I will invest with you. What I would do is, like on a store, is I say a new location, not my existing stores, not the ones I've already built, not the ones that are already cash flowing, but a new existing location. Like in Rock Hill right now, it's new. You just bought it. And say I've been with you for 4 or 5 years. I'm a good employee, I'm a good worker. And I say, John, I want to buy in 10% of this business. How much do I need? 50 grand, 60 grand? Can I buy into that new location, that new store, a new LLC? So I look at every store as a new LLC, a new business, and a new opportunity. So Garrett, I would love for him to eventually have a store with me or something with me. But the parent company is what I built. And I don't want anyone owning any of my parent company. But any of the stores don't have as much emotional attachment to me as my parent company does. So each store pays management fees, pays marketing fees, and pays, profits to the parent company. And that's where I get paid. I get paid out of the parent company. So all the individual stores, I am not as emotionally attached to those. So if you want to buy into those, I'm willing to sell those to my employees and sell part of those stores to. But the problem is, like you just said, are you willing to answer the phone at 11 o'clock at night? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to go without a paycheck? Are you willing to put the company first? Are you willing to do all these things? And 97.5% of the people in my company can say no to that, to those things.
No, they're going to say yes until the time comes, and then they're not going to do it.
Correct.
Everybody's interested. They're just not committed.
But the thing is, I had one of my guys in Lake Norman years ago that wanted to be a partner with me. So told everybody in the world he was my partner. But he didn't want to handle payroll. He didn't want to handle taxes. He didn't want to handle insurances. He didn't want to handle any of the problems that came with the business. He only wanted to handle me doing the labor and getting paid the profit of the business. You got to handle the problems too.
Yeah,
right?
I'm with you. I just can't even
How do you handle the problem? I know.
You got to handle the problems.
Right.
The problems are always going to be there. It's just, I don't even call them problems. I just call them the day's activities. They are what they are. You can make them bad, or you can make them good, or you could, just deal with them and move it on.
Yeah.
Hell, nobody likes to have to deal with problems, but it's how you approach it and your attitudes while you're, dealing with it is going to change your personal habit to be positive or negative, and there's no reason to be negative. Just smile, grin, and bear it.
Exactly.
Keep shoveling.
One thing I'm working on right now is my succession plan. Something happens to me. What's my succession plan? Do you have one of those?
I do.
Good. That's important. I think as small business owners, we need to remember what's going to happen if something happens to us, and what's your succession plan, and what are your dreams? How do you carry them on, and who do you leave them with?
Yeah, I hope you have a will.
Yeah,
I hope you have an estate planned.
Trust.
And trust. Yeah.
Yep.
Revocable trust. And
you have to.
All of those things are in your part of your your death. But in your business, you have to have a succession plan, and that's part of your estate plan is like, all right, who signs the checking account after I die? Where's the money go and how's it go? But it's not hard. You got to take a week and figure that shit out. That's
the thing is, sometimes it's not family.
Correct.
Sometimes it's someone who has an independent opinion that you value and trust, who's honorable and not greedy.
Correct. As long as they, can be trusted by you. That's the key. That's who you pick.
Exactly. Garrett's earning his stripes a little bit, so we'll see. He might get a few of my paintings.
Small stripes currently. Small stripes.
It's all good. But anyway, John, thank you so much for the nuggets. You're an amazing man, and it's amazing what you built. Like, it's awesome. Your business is incredible.
I have the same level of respect and admiration for what you've done and who you are and what you have.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.